Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Kathryn.
And we are Driving with the Bovinos.
In this episode, we dive into the art of getting unstuck. It's not about massive changes, but small, strategic shifts that can rewire your mindset and environment.
We'll explore science-backed tools to break free from monotony, self-doubt, or overwhelm, and reignite growth in your life.
Discover the power of micro habits like the Miracle Mornings Savers framework, and learn how visualizing success, practicing gratitude, and making tiny environmental tweaks can create momentum.
We'll discuss practical tools such as neuroplasticity, journaling, and embracing imperfections, and why self-compassion is key to sustaining motivation.
Perfect for busy parents, professionals, or anyone feeling stuck. This episode offers a clear roadmap to reconnect with your energy, purpose, and joy.
Remember, the path appears when you start walking. Here we go! We are talking about getting unstuck in 2026. What is stuck for you? What does that mean? How do people get stuck? Why does it happen? Where does it come from?
Oh, great question.
Oh,
yeah. Well, let's start with the first part, right? What is it for me?
Yeah.
Ooh, when I feel stuck, it's just this like a ruminating kind of thing. I'm kind of stuck on an idea or stuck in a feeling or maybe not feeling like I'm moving forward. For an example, moving here from California to Virginia, I felt very stuck when we first moved here. I was still working my job in California. I wasn't really sure what was going to be happening, what we were going to be doing, what I was going to be doing. And I would get on my yoga mat every day. I was doing my Miracle Morning Lifesavers, if anybody's familiar with them. So I'd get on my mat and I was like, why isn't this working for me? Why aren't I, I journal, I do all the things, but I just had this like feeling of like, ugh, like stuckness. I don't know. Am I
Stuckness in your professional life, personal life, in your day-to-day moments? What was the exact stuck for you?
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything because I think I was in such a limbo position and not necessarily moving forward. I was kind of, like I said, still working a previous job in another state. I wasn't sure where that was going to go. I didn't have any social connections except for my family that was here and you all. And maybe a few sprinkles of friends, but it just felt like I wasn't taking any steps forward and I wasn't doing anything new. And until I started to take another certification, do a different thing, start our business, then that started me moving forward. But
stuck in the mud.
what do you
Just
feel when
kinda
you're stuck?
spinning your wheels? Oh, we're not done with you yet.
Oh,
Nice try. You're stuck in the monotony of the day-to-day is probably my answer. Going through the motions. I was thinking about not having something to look forward to or something to help grow your experience or your life. So some planned exciting vacation, right? You kind of have that exciting thing to look forward to, but that in the day-to-day, those big things maybe a couple months away are not going to really get me unstuck. You can have so it's something to build off of. And this is my challenge. How do you be present, mindful, kind of all that in the moment, gratitude, while also pursuing something and growth and learning and building and creating? So that is the balance for me. So you said Miracle Morning. Quick, tell us about that. What is that? How did you find that? What does it mean? Miracle Morning. So I know you wake up, you make your bed, you win the day, right? You start off with something, you win the day already, your bed's made, you build off that. Right? What is Miracle Morning?
so the Miracle Morning is built on Lifesavers. So Life
The
Savers.
candy? You can just pop a candy in the morning? Boop. Sorry.
And we'll put a link to his book and all his information in the show notes. The savers are standing for SAVERS, right? And if you do, the idea is all of the high performers, all of the most successful people in life.
Am I a high performer?
I would say so. When he pulled together all of the information that they were all doing these similar things. So S, savers, silence, starting in silence. Don't pick up your phone, right? Take a few, even if it's just a few breaths in bed. That's my go-to lately. It's just taking a few deep breaths, centering myself, grounding myself. I'll add a little Reiki into it, but silence. Start with silence. A, affirmation. Start with some affirmations, affirming yourself, affirming maybe what you're working towards. V is
what is that? I am safe. I am happy. Whatever you want it to be.
It depends on, what you want to affirm in your life. And a lot of people will go to like, well, I want to be rich and so I'm going to say those things, but you're kind of lying to your brain because you're not in that space. But it's more of like, and there's a kind of a debate about that of
Mm.
what you should say, what you want to be. But I like to say what I'm working towards. Or yes, if I want to feel safe in my body, if I want to feel regulated, if I want to feel calm, I might say those types of things. But I also might say, like, I am working toward being my best self, or I am working toward this big goal, or each step I take is taking me to where I want to be, that kind of thing.
Thinking about, we learned the universe doesn't understand negative, and it doesn't understand wanting, right? So
Hmm.
I am fulfilled. I
Mm,
am
yeah.
successful.
Yeah. I am is very strong. But some people debate that, like, if you're saying the things, but then you have like cognitive dissonance around it because you're saying it, but you might feel something
Mm,
else. Like, I am
yeah,
confident, but you don't feel confident at all. So some people say to say what you're
you're a
working
fraud.
toward, or
Yeah,
I am, but I am is a very strong way to start your affirmation. But it's all in what you need that day and what feel rings true to you. So we got silence.
silence. How long? Up to you. Do you build on it?
I think it's up to you. And
That's hard for me.
it could be
Silence.
1 minute, it could be 3 breaths, and then work your way up. I think if you only a lot of people only have a minute, or maybe they're being woken up by a crying baby or a screaming child or whatever it might be,
A nagging husband.
right? Or, maybe they're caretaking for their elderly parents, and you gotta jump up and something's happening and you don't have that time. So, really just taking a second, even, whatever you can do. When I first started, I was taking, like, an hour of time of waking up early and
Mm.
going down and sitting and doing all these things, and then sometimes it's just unrealistic. So, and then sometimes you gotta do it a little bit later in the morning. It might not be the first thing you do. But so we have silence, affirmation, and then visualization. So visualization, we know, is super powerful. There's tons of research behind it. Visualizing your day just in itself is really powerful, of just like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go make breakfast, and you're like visualizing yourself in this very positive way of being. But you might be visualizing some big goal that you're working toward. When we were planning our retreat last year, goal shift, I would visualize that process and visualize people joining and visualize what it was going to look like out on the beach, not going into worry and because, oh, are we going to get people? How's this going to work? Are we going to be able to work it out? It was like more visualizing what that was going to look like and what my heart's desire would be.
Visualizing is a direct contrast to anxiety, right? Anxiety is fear of the unknown and
Hmm.
uncertainty, and this could happen and this can happen. With visualizing, you are creating that pathway for
Hmm.
safety, structure, comfort, and this is how it's going to look. This is what it's going to be
Yeah. Yeah.
before it even happens.
I keep seeing this, maybe it's a message to me, this quote that comes up in like a meme on social media about like, if you can overthink the worst case scenario, you can overthink the best case scenario, right? And it's like, oh yeah, why aren't we doing that? Because our mind, our bodies are set up to have that sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, to protect us. So we're always scanning and looking for a
Danger.
threat. And if we're dysregulated and we're more in that state, we're going to be even more looking for that threat. And so it's hard to get in that parasympathetic, that rest and digest, and to be like looking for the good, looking for the positive, looking for what's going to happen today versus like, oh, what's going to happen today. Yeah. Okay. So we got SAV,
Silent,
visualization.
affirmation, visualization. E is for
What do you think?
excitement, energize, elaborate,
Those are all great guesses. Exercise.
size. Boom.
Yes. Get
Get
your body
moving.
moving. Again, even if it's like a couple movements in bed, stretches, right? Little jumping jacks, whatever. It's nothing fancy. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do a big yoga sequence, right? Little exercise.
Ooh, I got a second E, environment.
Uh-huh.
Outside or change it up.
Yeah.
Maybe go to a different room, spend some time in there.
Sunlight is a big
Sunlight.
good thing for your body and
Yeah.
mind. Yeah. And then we got R.
Is for relax. No. Regular coffee. I got one more guess. Or ramp up your day. What is the R?
Those are all great. Yeah, we
Thanks.
can make our own.
I'm gonna make my own savor.
And I should add, this is Hal Elrod, I believe his name is. We'll
Yep.
make sure to add it in
Not Ron L. Hubbard.
So, and he actually went through a lot of
Are you
like,
just ignoring that
no,
one? Sorry.
I don't. who's-
Clearwater, Scientologist, Ron
Oh,
L. Hubbard. Not him.
not him. Okay, well.
R is what?
R is for reading.
Reading.
Read something.
Read something.
You don't have to read a book. You don't have to read a chapter.
This is a tough one.
Like the other day, I read from the little calendar things that my sister gave me. I read a quote from that during our podcast. I carried that quote
It's
with me,
simple.
read it during a yoga class, and then I carried it again and read it during my yoga New Year workshop because that little one moment of reading that, it took 1 minute, less than a minute. It stuck with me. And then I was able to carry that through. So even just reading your oracle cards, right? Reading
Did you just call them oracle cards?
oracle
Oh,
cards.
yeah. So you got the most out of that 1 day calendar.
That
Wow.
one day was a good one.
That was a good
Yeah,
one.
that welcome.
Even putting something on your mirror and when you're brushing
Yes.
your teeth, right?
Yeah,
High
you've done
five.
that.
High
Yeah.
five habit.
Mhm.
Give yourself a high five
Are
in the
you still
morning.
high-fiving yourself?
No. I was It's
Ooh,
funny. I used to be the high five king in college. I would just go around high fiving people and say
really?
hi, and that would be my thing.
Mm,
Everybody. It was fun.
sounds fun.
It like just changes changes the mood.
Yeah.
Give somebody a high five. Boom. You can't be like,
Yeah.
oh, high five here. It's not fun.
Mhm. Yep.
So
So,
savers.
okay, then we got a S
Oh,
on the
there's
end.
another
There's an
S.
S. Can
Savers.
you guess what that's for?
And you're gonna go back to sleep.
Scribing.
Scribing. You're
So
writing.
writing.
Writing. You're gonna do all that. You did all that every morning.
I did.
Feels like a lot, but it could
I
be
did for a
very
long
simple.
time. And then, it's kind of one thing that made me whatever you had just said something with the high-fiving, being flexible with these habits that we might put in place because now it's kind of taken a different turn of I do lay in bed, I'll take some breaths, I try to have a little gratitude moment, I'll do a little Reiki. Sometimes I'm doing it for 20, 30 minutes and my kids come flying in like, "Wakey, wakey." And I'm like, "I'm awake," but sometimes it's just a moment of just sending myself that love and healing energy. And then I'm going to have morning routine stuff. And then I try to go to the gym or walk or do something that then I'm listening to something, which I consider the reading part. And then throughout the day, I'm always writing in my journal and scribing. So it's kind of taken I have
You
to be flexible.
sit there with a notebook staring at me writing stuff. Just kidding. No,
Yeah.
you're not doing that.
So why do we go on the savers?
Savers, because that was something you did,
Hmm.
as you talked about when you were feeling stuck, to kind of work through it and create new options, new pathways to explore.
Yeah, so that's interesting to think about because so I started that in California and actually I think I did it for a couple of years there through COVID and I would do all different variations of that. But when we moved here, I was still trying to do that. I would try to get on my mat in the morning and do it. And for some reason, that's where the stuckness was. And I think I had to change my routine. I had to change what I was doing to get unstuck, even though that routine helped me get unstuck before and helped me to grow and helped me to expand my well-being and all of that. For some reason it wasn't quote unquote working anymore.
Doesn't
And so
lighten you up. And that the part of monotony, I think has always been my struggle, even
mhm,
from an early age. Just like the waking up and I just feel like I'm in Groundhog Day, making the coffee, doing the dishes, taking a shower, getting in the car, making my lunch, and going through the motions just feels stuck to me when there's
right.
no excitement or a new thing, or I'm kind of just on autopilot. And anything I've done, I feel like that happens to me pretty quickly compared to maybe other people who do the same thing or do the same job for 20, 30 years. And I've had jobs where I worked really hard and went to school and trained for many years and then got the job. I was like, after 6 months, a year, I was like, okay, I could do this for the next 20, 30 years, but what else? What else is available? What else is out there? So for me, Unstuck is just the monotony of the routines and not having it can't be like chaos. It can't be like total no structure free for all because that just gives me, I think most of us endure fear, uncertainty. Within the framework, there has to be some flexibility.
Yeah, and I definitely identify with that. I was trying to label the feeling of it and I think that is what gets me to being feeling stuck is that monotony. I need variation, but yes, I need a framework, a structure. And I think one of the biggest overriding things for me is feeling like a ceiling. Like if I'm in a job or I'm in a situation, I'm in a place, in a relationship, whatever it is, and I feel like that, not you, honey. And I feel like there's no place to grow or go, then I start to feel stuck. Like if I can't move up or grow in a position, or if my boss keeps turning down my ideas or pushing down what could be or what could happen, then I'm going to feel stuck. Or we live in a state that then we've exhausted all of our options and it's like, well, what are we going to do next? Then it's like, let's move.
Let's
Let's
move
see what
because
happens here.
you like to explore, go
Mhm.
different places and see what the environment has to offer and check out new things constantly. You're always finding something. You're really good at what's available.
Yeah. And so that speaks to kind of how I get unstuck, I think, of figuring out what's next without like that pressure, but just what am I interested in? What are my values? Lights me up, going back to our last.
What's out there?
What gets me excited?
And even for the homeschool or hybrid school, as you like to call it,
Mm.
you're constantly finding new fun adventures, very creative, even free stuff.
Yeah.
Going to ride bikes at a different place or checking out new offerings. I think that's really made the kids excited about their day to day learning.
Yes.
So feeling unstuck, it could be your health, could be relationships, could be your work, could be your environment, your house. Right? We like to, even our house. We like to change things, even moving furniture around. Gets us
Mhm.
unstuck, creates new energy, right? Getting a new project, updating something. It doesn't have to be expensive either.
Yeah, and I think we should acknowledge that some people might feel stuck, and there are times that we have as well that you can't do anything about that situation at that time, right? You might be a single parent and you're working 2, 3 jobs, and there's like nothing at this exact moment that you could do about the situation to get unstuck. But there are things you can do to change the feeling around it, right? And to move forward a little bit.
I know people, and I myself have been places where been so stuck that it all feels just so overwhelming, and you can't even get out of bed. You can't even imagine everything is just stacked up against you, where the future looks so overwhelming that maybe you've been pushed down and pushed down and pushed down that it almost is a feeling that you can't escape. That's tough for sure.
Mhm.
So, what are 5 things people can do to get unstuck? We're not just here to talk about the problem, people. We are here for solutions. What is one thing somebody could do right now, today, to get unstuck? Just
Yeah.
shift the energy, shift the momentum in their life, right? Shift their mindset to getting on social media is not one of them. That
No.
makes me get even more stuck,
Oh
right?
gosh, yeah.
I
Don't
would
do it.
just, oh, they have this. Why don't I have that? That is where thinking goes. For me, how do they get that? Or why do they get that? How do I deserve that?
Unless you train your algorithm to then just feed you inspirational stuff, and then that's what mine's doing.
Quotes.
But then it'll take a turn and go down a rabbit hole that's dark and not good. Yeah, don't do it. But I think we'll focus on people getting unstuck that, like Brian's saying, maybe can't get out of bed, or maybe it's the parent with a child with autism, or maybe it's the parent with devastating medical diagnosis, or family member that's struggling, or, we can't all just jump into a new course that we want to take or move across the country or do these big things that could really physically unstuck you, right? Unstick you.
I was
So,
thinking a lot of the guests we've had, they were stuck in their job and they made the leap,
mhm.
right? Taking that
Mhm.
leap, quit their job. We know a couple and didn't have any backup plan. And through that struggle, they made it work. That's not saying do that either. Don't quit your job today.
Yes. And I think that speaks to them aligning with their values. And
Yep.
again, that theme keeps coming up of what were their values, and staying in that job wasn't aligning with that, and they were like, this is calling me, and then move. And that's kind of how we've operated, of what's called to us. And
Number one for me on my list, as I set it up, you've got some things written down. Let's get to our list. We want
okay,
to keep
yeah, let's
these
get
waiting.
into it.
Number
Okay.
one for me, I'm going to skip over your list, is the relationships. You have to have relationship. When I'm stuck, I'm isolated, working from home at COVID. Obviously, the ultimate stuck for me, that was monotony. Going upstairs to the office, working on my computer, going downstairs. That was the day. And so when I'm stuck, I'm noticing I'm isolated. I'm not having social relationships, engaging with people, even talking to people, having a conversation, not being around other people. You've mentioned in the past that I dislike people. I tend to hold people maybe at uh, high standards, maybe, or tend to see the negative in situations at times. So when I'm stuck, I'm not engaged in social relationships. That for me is number one, I would
Mhm.
say. Do you have when you're feeling stuck, what's it for you?
Well, I have noticed that for me as well. And I notice when I go and be with people, it's just like this release of like, and I remember times just texting you, especially when our kids were really young, being out and like, oh, I needed this. Like, thank you. And all I'm doing is going and meeting a friend for a coffee or a drink or dinner or just getting, that connection because it's releasing all those neurotransmitters and oxytocin and all the good
Mhm.
stuff, releasing the cortisol in our bodies. And yeah, that can do a lot. Relationship. And that also, again, like aligns with our values. Our relationships tend to be really important to us, our family, our friends. And so when we can connect with other people, that helps us. And it also ties into that idea of self compassion that we talk about, that common humanity, connecting with others, realize we all have challenges. I met with a friend for lunch the other day, and it's like, just hearing her stories, ours might be similar in some ways and totally different in others, but just to realize we all have these struggles and challenges helps you to feel more connected and less stuck, right? Or less alone, isolated.
You would, "Let's do this," or "Let's do this." I don't wanna do that. That sounds not a
Mhm.
lot of fun. Sounds like a lot of work, but we'd go, and it would always glad we went, right?
Yes.
Almost every time.
Mm,
Glad we went, glad we did that. That was fun. Even yeah. So, it was almost forcing yourself to go and
mhm.
then spotlighting or reminding, reflecting on, "Well, I feel better. I felt this way before. Now I feel
Yes.
this way." Right? Noticing,
Mhm.
right? Using some act in there. Notice.
Yes. And I think that aligns with my list of naming it to tame it, right?
Name it to tame it.
Dan Siegel, Dr. Dan Siegel, if you haven't read or learned anything from him, he's great. But naming it to tame it, I'm stuck without judgment, without trying to fix it, just acknowledging what's going on for you. Because it wasn't for me until I realized in those moments, till I realized what's going on, or in hindsight, like, oh, yeah. I was really swirling around there and my stuckness. But if you're not recognizing that, you might be doing other things to make yourself feel better, to get relief. But you might not be targeting what you need to, but without fixing it, kinda diffusing from it, maybe writing it down. I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling crappy. I'm feeling like I'm never gonna do anything different. I can't get out of bed. I never gonna get a different job. Whatever it is, write it down. Get it out and, kind of you
Do you like, what's not working for me? Do you write stuff like that down? Like, what's the what makes me feel the yucky stuff?
well, I love the ACT
The
matrix.
act
That's
matrix.
a big tool.
Exploring the yucky stuff. What's not working? Or do you focus on what do I want? What do I need?
I like to do the whole
Yeah.
process, and I share it with everybody, my college students, my clients, my workshops, everybody. Yeah, looking at what's important. What are your values? What do you want in life? How do you want to show up? Yeah, what's yucky? What's happening? What is making you feel stuck? What am I doing for relief? Whether that's binge watching TV or binging something else, or yelling at your partner, whatever it is. And then what do I do for satisfaction to feel good, to be in alignment with what's important to me. And then, yeah, what do I want to do more of? And yeah, what's working, what's not working, what's working for me without judgment, just kind of continually looking at, is staying up till 2 in the morning every night watching Netflix while eating and drinking working for me? Well, in the moment, it might be working because I'm feeling better, I'm feeling comforted. And in the morning, maybe not working. Maybe I'm hungover, maybe I'm feeling bloated, whatever, not getting up for that potential job interview.
What's that saying when you focus on something, it expands? Is that what's that
Mm,
saying? Where energy flows,
yes.
energy grows or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're focusing only on the negative, which I could do, have done, maybe too more often than I like, that is what I'm noticing more, and then I'm focused and it
Mhm.
becomes overwhelming. So I hit every red light on any trip
Mhm.
ever, every single time, and I'll say, "Look, wake at this light and this light and the very
You just
next
keep
light."
getting more and
And
more
red
mad.
every single light, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Where that is a definite
True story.
example of energy goes, energy flows, and then I'm just hitting every red light.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
funny.
I'm in the car with her and she or following, dim da dum, and she's just noticing the colors of the leaves and the birds flying by, and she
It's true
nails every
story.
green light. It's like, are you kidding me? How is this possible?
Yeah. There's something about being in a state of flow
Wow.
and noticing what is a popular word now, glimmers, right?
Glimmers?
Glimmers.
What does that mean?
The
Glimmer of
little sparkles.
uh,
So the sunset, the birds, like you're saying, I'm always like, "Oh, look at the sky. Look at the moon. Look at the," and I love that my kids are doing this now too. But that is just a momentary light up, right? It's a momentary glimmer in your life, versus like at the red light, or shift the red light to a mindfulness bell. Use that as a moment to come back to the present moment, take a deep breath, invite in whatever it is you're looking for.
It just went into your yoga voice a
Yeah.
little bit there. You caught it. I'm noticing that. That was good. You're ready to
Yeah.
you're ready to launch that. People love her yoga voice,
No, thanks.
except for
Except for my family.
well, I'm glad you accepted that there's a shift. You were in
Yeah.
denial of the yoga voice for a long
Well,
time. What do you
since
mean? I'm
it's just that
just
my voice.
talking very comfortably right now, and I'm very relaxed.
I just don't wanna be called out on like, let's just, like, move through the moment, and I don't know.
Yeah,
When
why are
my
you
kids are like
judging me right
yeah.
now? Analyzing me. Meh. All right. So
So
name it to tame it. What's going on for you? Put it out there. Over the universe. Maybe we can add gratitude. Gratitude is a good one for me. So I'm incorporating social relationships as a middle-aged, on the younger side of middle age man who has a lot of work and kids and responsibilities. That's tough. Not easy. Not easy to cultivate those relationships. But I would say I'm probably better than all my friends. I never hear from them, but I reach out often. I do. I reach out, I make an effort, and that makes me feel good. So
Mhm.
I also, what was it going to, gratitude. Yes, gratitude. I don't do this enough. I need to do it more. Practice some gratitude. That shifts the energy, I think, for me, shifts the
Yes.
negative focus into what am I thankful for? And a lot of times it's I'm thankful for these lines in the middle of the road that are separating me from the cars coming at me.
There you go.
Simple things,
Could be
right?
anything, yeah.
I'm glad my car is gas right now or electric, right?
Yeah.
I'm thankful for this opportunity to spend time with you today,
Me too.
this platform. So gratitude works for me. What else you got?
Yeah, I love gratitude. It's a great way to shift your mindset, right? Even just, yeah, momentary. I think, well, taking a moment to regulate yourself, right? Regulating before you make a decision, maybe taking some breaths. Gratitude can help. Maybe moving your body a little bit, doing some somatic exercises, whatever it might be. But before you make any rash decisions or decide to make a big move or something like that, definitely finding some regulation in your body and mind.
5 minutes. That's all
Hmm.
it takes for me. Boom.
There's
This is a huge shift.
yeah, there's great, I mean, you could just do it on your own, lots of breath work, lots of mindfulness things, but lots of guided meditations, sound healing, yoga, whatever on YouTube. If you're like, where do I start? Put in 5-minute guided meditation. I love the honest guys. There's tons out there. Just find the voice that you like, take a moment, really 5 minutes or less. You could even put in 2 minutes. But I think then really shrinking your steps that you want to take into really tiny, small actions, aligning them with those values. So that's where that act matrix comes into play. But if you're if you're just like, if I want to create relationships, what's one thing I could do today or one thing I could do this week that will move me in that direction? It doesn't have to be big. It could be picking up the phone to call. It could be texting somebody. It could be signing up for a pickleball class or going to the library or going to your local coffee shop. Maybe it's going to the gym. Anything that would just inch you forward. Maybe it's connecting with somebody online. One little step in the
Yes.
direction. Nothing major, like I'm gonna make 5 friends this week or I'm gonna go, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah. A lot of the work we do, small steps. And if it's that small step is still too big, you can always modify or break it down. Clients going to the dentist. Sometimes it's even just driving by the dentist's office. That's the first step. Just drive it by. Oh, look, there's a dentist. And then that's it. And moving forward. There's always baby steps and it feel like, oh, we're never going to get there. But then time goes by and you get there. Going to the gym is a big one for a lot of people. Just that could be so overwhelming. Start really small. Maybe
Mhm.
you go in for 10 minutes once a week and ask yourself, how do you feel after you did it? Or notice, I've never once went to the gym was like, damn it, why did I do that? That was
Mhm.
dumb. 100% of the time, even if it's a small amount of time and I'm not really lifting the heaviest weights or running the fastest or whatever, shifting that mindset. What else? What are other examples of
Well,
small steps you've taken or things? Reading a book, I'm a slow reader and it just feels so overwhelming, but just like pulling it up and reading 1 or 2 pages, wow,
mhm.
something to build off of.
Habit stacking would
Habit
be it, yeah.
stacking.
So, one thing I have to do to get to the gym is put my clothes by my bed and often in a pile next to me. I will put them on right as I get out of bed, and that helps me then it's like, "Well, now I gotta go." And the going to the gym for a little bit I have done that. And some people are like, well, I'm not going to just go for 5 minutes, or I'm not going to just go for 10 minutes. I've been in the habit of doing that because sometimes I don't have the time. It's like, well, I'm just going to go for 15 minutes and that's it. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
Amazing.
But the habit stacking has been huge for me in my own brain. Putting things next to, like, when I have to get up to teach psychology, you have to be there at 8 a.m. or earlier than that on a Friday morning. I have to line everything up. It starts the night before. I got to line it all up for myself. I got to have it all ready. Otherwise, in the past, I've been rushing around, getting all frustrated, and then I'm late, and then it just sets the day up for failure. So habit stacking, putting the makeup and the things next to the toothbrush, having the coffee ready next to the other mug that I'm going to bring whatever with, or my food. So stacking things together that you're going to see, and then it's going to trigger you to do it, is definitely helpful for me personally.
So that is also setting your environment up for success,
Yeah.
right? There's a
Hmm.
lot of things you could do, small steps to help the win, make the coffee before the night before, right?
Yeah, and then what's next to the coffee? You always forget your keys, have your keys right there, or,
Mm.
whatever it is that you need a reminder for. Definitely that helps me tremendously, having it all lined up. And that wasn't something I started doing till, I would say, recently, the past year or two, that has really helped me to, yeah, do the things that I want more of. One idea is that 1% better, not putting all that pressure, especially in the new year, all this pressure to like set resolutions and have these big goals. How about just like 1% better each day? Like one little thing. Maybe it's even just when you get your coffee, taking a deep breath or watching the coffee pour. Maybe that's it. And that's what you decide to do for the next couple days.
Yeah.
Tracking it too. Sorry. I got a lot of ideas on
You got
this.
good tracking.
Tracking.
How do you track it? You keeping data,
I mean, and
writing
we
it
do this
down?
for our clients. And of course, even with teaching, you're tracking grades. I have to track myself. I've been meaning to get another wellness tracker going. I did it last year. You've done it a couple times, tracking your
Yeah, on my
behaviors.
40th birthday,
Hmm.
I made a chart and I had all these goals 30 days before my birthday. And yeah, just putting that check and seeing the momentum
And you had it on the
thing
fridge.
on the fridge.
Yeah.
I made it known this is what I was doing. Did 30 hours of cardio, 30 days of no drinking.
Yeah.
I
You
did
you
a couple
nailed
of,
it.
yeah, that was fun. And then you feel good.
Yeah. And then
Good for you.
also, yeah, giving yourself grace. You totally did that like 100%, right? 100%. When I did my wellness tracker, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to do as much as I can. You got to give yourself grace if you're not doing it fully. And I had this long list of things. So it's like, well, I'm still doing the 1% better. I'm still doing more than I was doing yesterday. And I'm moving in the direction that's in alignment with my values and what's important to me and where I want to go. And then a lot of other behaviors and things changed for me because I was taking those steps in that direction.
And it's not an end or be all. You fall off, tomorrow's a new opportunity, right? There's
Yes.
a new change. And you hear a lot of, instead of waiting for the perfect decision, the perfect podcast, the lighting. We were going back and forth the lighting. Well, it's fine. Just get it out there. An imperfect attempt is going to be always way better than trying to make the perfect situation. So put yourself out there. You're going to learn way more. It's going to be much more faster. All the things I read and hear these days is CEOs are saying fastest. We're the fastest to implement and try it. It doesn't work. We're the fastest to move on from
Mm.
it and try something else. It's not sitting around waiting for that perfect job, waiting for that perfect partner, right? Your time's going to go by and then you're never going to find them and it's just going to be a letdown. Putting yourself out there.
Yeah, so I think that speaks to two things that I was thinking of, the self-compassion piece, but also, yeah, just saying why not and trying new things, because each time you do and each time you keep showing up and each time you take action and one step forward and one small thing and one new habit, that's showing you the path, right?
Yep.
What's that quote? The path appears when you, oh gosh.
I don't know that one. When you walk down it,
Yeah, something like that.
walk down it and the path will appear. Oh,
Yeah,
there's
like
one,
start
something like that.
walking and the path will appear. We'll have to look that up.
And the
I
more you
believe it's
walk, the
Rumi.
more
Stuff appears.
opportunities for new paths
Yeah.
will arise.
And that's what I've seen of like, keep showing up, keep doing the things, keep finding things that are in alignment, and then new people show up, and then it's just like you're in a flow state, which is very nice. But practicing self-compassion is really important, which is giving yourself that self-kindness that we would give to other people, beating yourself up, in your mind, and practice mindfulness, coming back to the moment, not getting hooked by all these thoughts, not getting hooked by the feeling of stuckness, right? Not getting spiraling in that. And then common humanity, understanding that we all struggle, we are all connected, we all feel stuck at different times in our life to varying degrees, to different situations. But when you can, like Brian started in the beginning with relationships, when you can reach out and connect with other people in whatever capacity it is, that's going to help you to feel less isolated, less stuck, and more connected with people around you. Even if that's going to the coffee shop and saying hello to the barista, right? That's going to help you feel human connection, an energetic exchange, and just help you to kind of keep moving forward. So self compassion is huge. Stop
That
judging yourself.
common humanity part too.
Yeah.
Sounds like relating, connecting, knowing we're all struggling. I was thinking the initiation, right, is always the hardest. Getting over that energies to go from at rest to the initial momentum. So just going, forcing yourself to go. And wow, I'm glad I did that. Wow, I'm glad I did that. And then it becomes easier and easier. And that energy it takes to cross that threshold, I think reduces.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things that I teach in my psychology courses and I bring into with my clients, and it's important to me, is neuroplasticity. Our brains are these plastic, malleable things that can change. We're never going to be stuck forever. When we're in that space, it can feel like, oh, nothing's ever going to change. I'm not going to change. I'm never going to be able to do this. But when we can realize,
Everything's changing all the
mhm,
time.
yeah, and the more, like Brian's saying, you keep, showing up, doing the thing, you're changing the energy, you're flowing, you're getting that momentum. You're also creating new brain pathways in your brain. You're creating new synapses. You're connecting neurons, creating new neurons, and creating that neuroplasticity that then helps you grow to manifest new things, to do new things, to have new thoughts, to stop being stuck.
Stop being stuck. Yeah.
Yes, but acceptance, acknowledging it, and not getting hooked on the stuckness, I think is the first step. If we're too hooked and fused in the stuckness, it's hard.
And feeling, well, this is just how it is. This is how it
Mhm.
goes. This is where I am. I've tried, it doesn't work. And just letting the stuckness drag you down. Even when I'm out seeing people or doing different things or maybe things I'm wanting to, I always feel way better. I always feel much more value and accomplished and have meaning and purpose in my day when I'm doing these things that maybe I don't want to do, right? Going to a town council meeting. Don't want to do that. Wow, glad I did that. Interesting conversations, learn something new, adds value to my time and purpose and moving forward. There's things to grab onto and build and slingshot you to a new pathway. What other things we got? Anything else we got?
Well, I think you can use some other tools too. I don't know if we mentioned, well, listening to podcasts,
Listening to
reading inspirational books. I'm a big self-help spiritual reader person who just like devours that kind of thing. Journaling, putting it down on paper, it helps you to kind of objectify it instead of being so stuck in the thoughts and feelings. Doing some card readings, that's fun to get some messages, talking to people, seeking a therapist if it's really bad, seeking a counselor.
Yeah, I would say changing the environment definitely helps. Connecting with people for me is important. Trying something new,
Hmm.
just and then maybe I don't like it, but I tried and that feels good. And maybe I do like it. Getting out of the monotony of the same routine. And the parents, a lot of times when I'm talking, they're the mountain of it just seems so inescapable. I really have to emphasize really small. Invite your kid to unload the dishwasher one time a week. Notice how it goes. Yesterday I was saying, notice not even trying to change them, but just notice your self regulation when you're talking to your partner or your child and just focus on, you know, accepting, hearing their perspective. I hear you
Mm.
and remaining in a neutral state. That small step is going to lead to many steps. So we've seen that a lot, and that definitely works. So break it down, small steps, change your environment, change the way you drive to work. That really,
Mm.
right? Some
Oh,
small,
yeah, that's a big one.
drink your coffee with your other hand,
Yes,
brush your
wash.
teeth, right?
Yeah, change the way, like the order of how you shower.
The order of how you shower.
Yeah, most people have a very specific
Yeah.
routine of
Yeah.
how they shower. Change it.
Change it up.
Do something different first. I told that to a friend once. She said, "Why would I do that?" Like,
The point of that.
I mean, yeah, changes your brain, changes the synapses, but driving a different way. Yeah, if you have the time, doing it. Yeah, I love the using the other hand,
You like that?
eating mindfully.
Yes.
You love when I do that.
Cooking a new meal, trying something different. Let us know how it goes. We're excited to hear back from you. Put how you're stuck or what you do to get unstuck in the comments. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Like and subscribe. What else can they do? Check out our Facebook, not our Facebook. Check out our website, thriveconsultationtherapy.com. Kathryn's killing it on the IG.
Which also goes to Facebook.
Which
so
also goes to,
they can check out
what's
the
that?
Facebook too.
What's that name?
Thrive Consultation and Therapy.
Boom. We'll post some things that help us get unstuck, and we're excited. Got some new guests coming up lined up for you to share how they get unstuck and go get unstuck, people.
And thrive.
That's your closing. And thrive. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Wait, to help us get unstuck, Kathryn is going to pull 3 cards.
I just pulled one.
Did you? The starseed? Come on. The starseed.
Starseed. What lights you up? I can't make this stuff up, people. Like, I literally just reached over, shuffled through.
Come on. What they shuffle?
I shuffled it a bunch. I've even drawn from this several times since last week, almost every day, probably.
This helps you get unstuck.
And other people have touched them and taken from them too. Starseed, what lights you up? So that's all. Just find little things that light you up. And if you can't think of little things that light you up, little joy moments, little seeds that you want to plant, someone had said make a tryout list. So what do you want to try out? Something you've never done before, just make a list. Maybe you want to go to pickleball. Maybe you want to go to a different grocery store. Maybe you want to try a different food. Make a trial list and then check it off. Did I like it? Did I not? But anyway, what lights you up? Go with that today and find some seeds to plant, some little star seeds for yourself that you can then grow into the new year. And
what lights you up? That will help get you unstuck, I think. Figure it out, people. You got this. Till next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.